Alright, so it's enter the Gungeon again. So this time I decided to have some goals. So I was going for some achievements, specifically the sledge dog, which requires to complete a run with turbo mode on, which you can toggle on by talking to Tonic. This increases the speed of basically everything, the enemies, the bullets, the character, but surely that won't be a problem. I mean, it's not like you've seen a title or anything. So the frame rate was a bit atrocious, so I lowered everything in the graphics settings that can be lowered to minimum. It looks amazing, I know, you're welcome. In Chamber 1 I usually use the Hunter's sidearm and only switch to her crossbow on Chamber 2, because you can 1 or 2 shot most enemies in Chamber 1 and 2. However, I don't really like wasting its ammo, and her basic sidearm still does the trick in the first chamber, so yeah. In the boss fight against the glittering ghoul, should have been more scummy because they're actual covers, but the fast speed caught me off guard at the beginning, and after losing 1 HP I wasn't trying that much. From a green chest I got the combined rifle. It's pretty good against a single target, so that's what I'm gonna use against the bosses this run. From beating the ghoul I got the siren, which is just a water shotgun, and then to Chamber 2. So yeah, I was mostly using the crossbow here. From another green chest I got the predator, which auto targets 2 enemies, and upon a full reload it grants invisibility. That's pretty neat. Tried my luck in a shooting range, and I got the roll bomb, which leaves the bomb behind when I roll. Then is the boss fight against the beholster. It went relatively well considering that it's on turbo mode. And I got the space turtle, which is a companion that follows you around and shoots enemies. And then it's up to Chamber 3. Usually at this point is when I switch to non-starter weapons. Then the boss fights up against the cannonball rogue with 1 HP, so that went as well as you would expect it. I'm probably not gonna mention every item or weapon, either because I forgot or because it doesn't really matter, mostly the important ones. I'm also probably gonna speed through most of the levels, cause I still have a lot of footage left. I don't want this video to be 6 hours long. So yeah, after Black King defeated, it's up to Chamber 2, where in Royal Chest, or whatever its name is, I got the Cobalt Hammer. The hammer is a charge-up weapon, has 2 states. In the first one it shoots out a beam of lightning, on the second one it shoots out lightning in a stun pattern. And so, fun fact, I absolutely hate the Ammo Condra because of its unpredictable, or at least unpredictable for me, bullets, and because it's heals and it's charging at me. So yeah, this run went well too. With the Trigger Twins defeated, I got Irradiated Lead, which grants a chance to fire poison bullets. Then I bought a heart purse from Ursula, which grants a heart container. Then in regular room, not even against the boss, got kind of overrun. In round 4 got the Evolver, which upon every 5 different enemy killed, evolves itself to a stronger version. The Gatling Gun was a piece of cake. That's a lie, I absolutely hate him, especially if there are no covers, or good covers, such as this time. And in the Chamber 2 I got the honor to fight the Shadow Magician, which is a mini-boss, and he's so fun to go up against, especially once again without cover. But yeah, I'll make quick work of him, and moving on to round 5. So from a Royal Chest I got the Laser Lotus, which is a high damage semi-automatic piercing weapon. Quite lucky getting the Trigger Twins this time, but of course at the last fucking moment I got hit. Obviously, when else would that happen? In Chamber 2 I got the Vertebrate 47, which is a slightly homing semi-automatic weapon that has its bullets linked together. Then I got another big boss fight against the Fusilier. It went relatively well, actually. I usually have trouble with him. This Lotus is pretty good. Then boss fight was against the Gorgon. He's actually my favorite Chamber 2 boss to go up against. castle attacks are very much quite well telegraphed, and it's quite easy to avoid moving up to round 6. I got the Tangler, which is a shotgun that changes the enemies into squares, and the Gold Junk, which gives 500 coins. So this round didn't really have problem with money. I bought the Amulet of the Pit Lord, which prevents taking damage from falling off. Who am I kidding? I've already fallen off. Then it's a rematch against the Shadow Magician, or whatever his name was, I'm not looking it up. Then I get the Rolling Eye, that after rolling 2 bullets it reflects it back to the enemies, which also has a synergy with the Tangler. Then I bought the Drumia from Flint, which is an active item. If I dash over bullets, I can activate a blank. It's up against the Amacondra, and it went relatively well, somehow. Chamber 3. Bought the Irradiated Lead, the Gold Amulet, which increases damage of blanks, and the Reload Stone, which a couple of seconds siphons every enemy bullets. That activates the Reload Star synergy, which shoots back the absorbed bullets at the enemies. Then I encounter a Galishtar chest. If you open it, you will get transported into a boss fight against 2 or 3 beholsters stacked on top of each other. Yeah, no, I won't even beat it on regular speed. Then the fights against the Dreadnought, which went surprisingly well. I got the fat line from it that I haven't actually used. And then it's up to Chamber 4. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting to get this far, and okay, round 7. From a cursed chest I get R2G2, which is a companion that shoots at enemies. It's pretty neat. The boss fight against Bullet King was a bit tedious, since my best single target weapon was the slingshot, which is not really designed against bosses. In Chamber 2 I got the Gas Mask, which grants immunity to poison, so it was quite lucky the Chamber 2 boss fight was against the Gorgon. Beating her I got the badge, that summons a police companion that also shoots at enemies. I got the Vertebrae 47 once again, and this time I actually used it, this time I actually had a chance to use it against enemies. I also got a Pink Goonstone, which works as a regular Goonstone, but it also grants a head container. I tried my luck with Synergies, and actually got a synergy out of her chest. Got the Skull Splitter that shoots homing bullets, and that makes the Jolly Roger synergy with Vertebrae 47, and it's a pretty good one. It absolutely shred the Cannonball Rogue. And got the Ring of Miserly Protection. It grants 2 HP, but if I buy something from a shop, it will break. In Chamber 4 nothing really happened. The boss was a Warmonger, who is actually my favorite Chamber 4 boss, so that's neat. In Chamber 5 once again there wasn't really much. The Dragoon fight went quite well up until I ran out of bullets from the Skull Splitter, and turns out his second phase is a bit more dangerous, sped up. Who would have thought? In run 8 I got the Mine Cutter, which alternates between 3 recoil and 1 stronger laser beam. Then I also got the Flak Bullets, which upon hitting an enemy or a wall, the bullets spin into smaller. The boss fight was up against the Gatling Wall with actually Impel cover, and this time I was very much scummy about it, so I managed to beat him hitless and got the master round. From a royal chest I got the Winter Fury, which upon killing enemies grants in your inventory, levels up. The levels persist between runs, and it changes appearance every 10 level, with a maximum of 60, of course getting stronger each time. The Dreadnought went out with relative ease. Chamber 4 I got heavy bullets that increases damage at the cost of bullet speed. Then I was up against the High Priest. Even though I hate him the most of the Chamber 4 bosses, staying in the middle of the room while there were actual covers I could have ducked behind might have not been the best idea. The next round went well. You can tell it by the fact that I haven't mentioned any item that I picked up, and the only footage is suspiciously up against the boss that I had mentioned that I have troubles with. Oh wow, who would have guessed? After this I was kinda tilted and decided to give up temporarily on the turbo mode, and so I went with the Paradox, which if you beat the Lich with, you unlock the Gunslinger. It would probably make the turbo mode a lot more easier, so that's why I went with it. It starts with a random sidearm, a random secondary gun, and a random item. Now for those who are paying attention to the screen, you might be asking, you said that you're done with the turbo mode, but the game speed looks exactly the same as before. It's like you forgot to turn it off or something. Anyway, so Fizzle beat me for no fault of my own. Moving on to the next run. I get Rantos Side Down, Gungeon Eagle, and blank bullets, which upon shooting some bullets have a chance to trigger a short range blank. This time I actually remembered to turn off turbo mode. I got the Evolver, which this time I'm actually going to use. I didn't have any good weapons against the Trigger Twins, but I managed to catch it at 1 HP. The Evolver is doing its job and is evolving quite fast, luckily. And the boss fight was against the Emokondra. I'm pretty sure I said Emokondra every time, but it's Emokonda without an R. Anyway, thanks to the Evolver I managed to beat him once again in 1 HP. In Chamber 3, the Evolver evolved to its final form, and thanks to it I managed to beat the Gunsling King's challenge, which rewarded me with Void Core Assault Rifle, which is a pretty good weapon. The Dreadnought stood no chance against a fully evolved Evolver, but of course it hit me once. And I got the Gungeon Pepper that burns nearby enemies. In Chamber 4 I got the Flame Hand, which synergizes with the Gungeon Pepper, the Maximize spell, which makes that the enemies that are set on fire are going to burn permanently. I was up against the High Priest, but thanks to the Evolver it went super smooth. Got the Shadow Blast that gives a chance to fire multiple bullets up to Chamber 5. The Dragon fight went way more smoother than last time, and by the time I beat it at 1 HP. So he's now the third boss that I beat at 1 HP in this run. Unfortunately though, going 1 HP into bullet hell, it's not really aren't giving me the best chances to beat the Lich. Managed to feed enough guns to the Evil Muncher to spit out the Gunslinger's ashes, so that's pretty neat. And I get to use that weapon for like 20 seconds. So yeah. And the final run, I got the Robot's Right Hand, which is probably one of the best starting weapons I could have got, with a Lichy Trigger Finger that increases shot speed. From Royal Chest I got the Unicorn Horn, that's a beam weapon, which is quite strong actually. Thanks to it I beat the Getting Good without taking any damage, once again. In Chamber 2 I got a Portable Turret, a destructive item that places down a turret. Wow, who would have guessed? And got a mini boss fight against Sir Manuel. Well, I actually took no damage, somehow. And from his chest I got Sir Junkan, who is a companion that attacks enemies and gets the stronger the more junk the player has. Out of the 3 times I managed to beat the Lich, one of them was because I managed to have 7 junk on me. At the beginning he doesn't really do that much damage, he's the strongest he maxes out at 7. However, destroying chest is how you get junk, which means that I have to sacrifice my main source of damage, which is getting good weapons from chests, in order to level him up. And if I don't get 7, then all of that was pretty much for nothing. In Chamber 3 I got additional free junk from chests. The Dreadnought was dealt with ease, and it actually gave me a pretty good weapon, the Rubedyne Mark II. Things are looking great. In Chamber 4 I got 1 junk out of 3 chests, because one of them blew up, the other gave me a heart. So things aren't looking that good anymore. Boss fight was up against the Warmonger, nothing too fancy. So when I reached Chamber 5 I had 5 junk and I needed to safely beat the Lich, and I only got 1. However, maybe that's enough, because with 6 he occasionally activates a blank, and when the player dies he sacrifices himself and gains an extra life. However, at that point your main source of damage is gone, so I'm not sure how much that's worth. But yeah, Dragon wasn't too much of a problem, and it's up to bullet hell now. But yeah, I very much would have needed the extra junk. I was hoping that I could get 1 chest somehow to spawn somewhere, but I didn't. And I got shot. And then Sir Junkan sacrificed himself. With that my main source of damage has been gone. And of course the bullet hell is full of super annoying enemies, and it is extremely difficult to find a boss for some reason. But I managed to actually reach the Lich with 1 HP. Yeah. So yeah. Alright, thanks for watching, bye.